Hello, happy Friday. This is my first video at home in my house. I do tend to like to do them outside. I guess I always do them outside, but today is different. I am working on writing my own book and telling the story of kind of my life and the struggles that I've been through, and I hope to eventually finish that and follow up with a book on self-help and how to kind of overcome some of the darkness that life brings to us. So today I really wanted to talk to you about being mindful of the people around you and of the situations that you have yourself in, and to remember that if you are uncomfortable with somebody in your life, like your life partner, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, that you've got some choices to make. If you are getting angry at things that they're doing, your anger is coming from yourself. You may not like or appreciate what they're doing, but you can't change other people, and that is something huge that you have to learn to accept. You can give people guidance, you can tell people something that you don't like. You don't have to sit there and just take it, but ultimately, if you keep staying with somebody that's doing the same thing over and over again, you do have to review yourself. If you want to be with that person, you need to change the way you think about it, the way that you view it, and to not allow it to cause you anger or negative emotions, because anger will get you nowhere. It's a low vibrational frequency to stay at. It makes you uncomfortable, and it's really hard to deal with. And you're not functional when trying to change somebody when you're angry. That is not going to help. Pretty much got to kill people with kindness. You got to spread love to them and give yourself a break. So if you are in a situation that you don't like, find out what you don't like about it. Find out why you don't like it. And either learn to let it go or learn to let that person go, because you have to do that. And, another really important thing in life is to nurture yourself. Nurture yourself by feeding yourself right, looking into foods, fighting against status quo, and what people tell you is normal and best for you is not always what's best for you. I've struggled with fibromyalgia for my entire life. Well, really, at least since I was probably about 10 years old, up till about 15 months ago. It started getting better, and in the last couple of months it's gotten way better. So 15 months ago I finally decided to take myself off of prescription medications, and that was something that was really scary for me. I was on those prescriptions for like 12 years, and it was something that had helped me for a long time, and I finally decided to give it a go and to get off of some things after experimenting with taking myself off of some of the other medications that I was taking less frequently and seeing kind of a profound change. I decided to continue to cut things out of my life. And one of the biggest ones that I cut out was a medication called Elavil. I had taken it for 10 years, and after 10 years, we ended up doubling the dose. And it's a heavy tranquilizer, and my biggest struggle was sleep. When I didn't sleep well, I got crazy. I started, getting really irritable, and always being somebody who's worked with children and was a mom myself, the last thing I wanted to do was to be irritable with my kids, or, especially not somebody else's kids. Not that my kids were less important, but my kids were able to forgive me, where like other people's children and their parents and stuff was not necessarily going to give into just letting me be a brat, which I really never was with the kids, to be honest. But I would feel impatient, and I didn't want to feel impatient. And so not sleeping, obviously exacerbates all of that. And eventually I was really kind of struggling with depression because of not sleeping well and hurting, and, everything was aching. I got a lot of really sharp, bad pains in my left hip and in my right shoulder. And I'm a side sleeper and a stomach sleeper, which is not really conducive for pain because you can't get properly aligned. Like, the best thing for you to do is sleep on your back. And for some reason, I don't know whether it's an insecurity that I've had since I was a young child or what, but I just don't feel like secure enough to sleep on my back. I can sometimes fall asleep like that, but I will never stay in that position. I will inadvertently end up on my side or in my stomach in the night without even paying attention to it. So it's just one of those things. I'm fully aware that sleeping on your back is the best place to sleep, and I've always envied my husband can sleep on his back, and I'm like, gosh, I wish I could just stay there because I hurt way less when I stay there. But anyhow, I've also struggled with headaches and just lack of sleeping. And so I started taking Elavil to help me sleep and to battle, a little bit of the depression, and it was supposed to help with pain. And at first I really kind of was told the doctor, I don't want to take anything every day, and that's not okay. And I definitely don't want anything addictive, like not even mildly interested in taking stuff that's addictive, because prior to that, doctors had tried to give me Vicodin and other terrible things, which I think I tried Vicodin one time, and I ended up flushing the whole bottle. I got cursed by a couple of my friends for flushing the bottle because they would have liked to have had it, but nonetheless, I'm glad I flushed the bottle and didn't give it to somebody who didn't need it. But I understand that a lot of people, think that stuff is great. And it is sometimes hard to come by. But for me, I thought it was obscenely easy to get it prescribed. And I remember telling the doctor, what the heck, I'm 26 years old. I do not need a drug problem. Like, I already have enough, problems with pain and other things like that. I don't need a drug addiction on top of that. So please don't give me that. Anyway, after doubling the dose, I started putting on weight and all this other stuff. I finally started researching the medication, and it turns out it's a pretty dang heavy tranquilizer, which also inadvertently causes an increased appetite, which explains quite well why I had put on a bunch of weight. And I was never really fat. I've always been naturally thin. I don't know, I guess luck of the draw and nature there, because I love to eat. It's not like I didn't like to eat, but I just didn't... I've never ate in super excess, and I never really was able to even gain weight. So having weight on me was weird, and I had got up to my highest pregnancy weight, and it tripped me out. I was like, wow, what the heck, 152? Ugh, gross. I don't want to weigh 152. And not that I'm judging. Everybody's body's different. I know a lot of people who, would love to be 150. But for me, I'm only 5'4", 5'5", and I've always been about 120 to 135 pounds. So 150 was a little, excessive for what I was used to with myself. And I just was more having trouble fitting into clothes, and having to go buy different clothes, and I kind of was stuck between a 5 and a 7, which was weird, being this kind of half size. I don't know, I just wanted the weight gone. So once I researched the medication and found out what it did for me, I decided that was no longer the answer for me. But it was a little scary to stop taking it. I was afraid I was going to slip back into a depression, that the pain was going to get really bad, that headaches were going to get really bad. And I transitioned really well off of it. I started feeling a lot better. Then recently I have changed my diet to a vegan diet, and I've cut out, vegan, not quite vegan all the way. I'm definitely vegetarian, but mostly vegan. I still love cheese and a couple of things that are animal products that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to give up completely, and I do like to eat eggs. So, and every once in a while I'll have shrimp or salmon. But that's about it. Once in a while, very infrequently. Most of the time it's all fruits and vegetables, and I try to do whole grains instead of, white rice. And basically the biggest reason for that is pain. So cutting out white sugar, white flour, and all of those starchy kind of foods that just convert to sugar in your body has made a huge difference in pain levels. And I'm able to do this without any medication. Now, that's been amazing. So if you're struggling with pain, really, really think about what you're eating. What you're putting into your body is making a massive difference in how you function and how you feel. So put yourself first, put your body first. Think about what you need and what works for you, what feels best to you, and try to stay away from artificial, nasty things. Things like high fructose corn syrup make you feel consistently hungry and never full, and you want to just keep eating and eating and eating and drinking and drinking and drinking, and you're never really satiated because it's the nature of this highly processed sugar. there's just a lot of things that I've been learning, and it's really making a big difference in how I function, and combating fibromyalgia and sleep issues and stuff has been a struggle. And the other thing that really helps is meditation. I try to get myself mentally into a good place so that I can rest, relax, let go of struggles that I'm having, and move forward with my life to help me to sleep and to relax and to live in the moment and to not be worried about what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow, and just be present. That's been huge for me. So anyway, I hope that maybe this makes a couple of you guys think and helps you to kind of redirect yourself and your thinking. And remember again that, just to go back on what I started with, is you're not responsible for changing anybody else. You're not responsible for making somebody a different or a better person, because who are we to even say that somebody is or isn't a better person? It's all perception. And where people are at in their lives, that's where they're at, and you got to honor that and respect that and let them be there, and take a step back out of it. And if you don't like something, work on what you're not liking. Work on yourself. If you're not feeling good, work on your body. Work on the medications that you're taking. Now I realize there are life-saving medications that people cannot get off of. That's not the medication I'm talking about. It's things that are optional, that are not life-threatening, that can have a profound impact on your life, and you don't even realize until you start researching. I mean, I took this stuff for a lot of years before I really researched what it was doing to me, and put a lot of things in perspective. And it wasn't just about vanity and weight. It was about getting myself whole and healthy and not being dependent or codependent on medication. I didn't want to worry about if I dropped insurance, like what was going to happen if I didn't get to take my medication. And there was some medications, like I was taking a muscle relaxer, and man, when I stopped taking that, I got some serious migraines for like weeks. Now I cold turkeyed myself off of it after being on a full dose consistently for several months, and got pissed off that it was causing me some addictive tendencies, and my body was telling me to take more than I was prescribed, and I just got pissed and stopped taking it. That's just my stubborn nature. And it was not the right way to go off of it. You should wean off of those addictive drugs, but instead I put myself through a few weeks of hellish migraines and some terrible stuff. But it was a really good lesson to never ever want to take it again. So I don't know, for me it was the right path, even though it was a little extreme. There are some drugs that can really, really flip your body out when you stop taking them. So anyways, I could go on and on, but I just want people to, take ownership of your life, take ownership of how you feel, take ownership of what you're taking into your body and what you're doing for yourself, because it's all about your greater good, and you feeling the best that you can, and just getting yourself into a good place. So I hope this helps somebody today. Have a beautiful, wonderful day, and hopefully I'll be back soon. Thanks.